Hi everybody, Coulter Brown here with Northern Ag TV, coming to you from the Montana Stockgrowers Midyear meeting in Butte, Montana, joined here by President Lesley Robinson. Lesley, it's great to be able to bring this convention west for a change, the Midyear meeting, and boy, there's a lot of optimism from producers right now, but some concern, especially in areas like yours that could use a little moisture.
Yeah, we got about 2 inches over the last 2 weeks in 3 different rains, so feeling a little bit better, but yeah, you just have no control over that, but we have some optimism there. So.
Yep, but where you do have control is the policy, and by being here in the grassroots movement of Montana stock growers, and I'd ask you maybe take a little bit of a national view. Of course, one of the big items we've seen is the budget reconciliation. There's a lot packed in there, and quite a bit of it does affect agriculture.
Right. Well, one of the main features with the reconciliation bill is the tax parts, and we have worked really hard with PPI, with our producer profitability initiative, to try to make sure that the tax laws that were put in don't sunset this year. And it's a positive note because what has been brought forward actually has higher limits than what we were even asking for. So it's we'll see how if it makes it through, but it's heading in the right direction.
And then also tied into that is some Farm Bill provisions, which mostly aren't on the livestock side, but certainly NCBA, Montana Stock Growers, both advocating to get a Farm Bill done.
Right. We need to get the Farm Bill done. There's a lot of people that are very dependent, I guess, on the Farm Bill programs, and so we need to make sure that we do get that done and not kick the can down the road more.
Well, and one of the other hats you wear is on the Federal Lands Committee for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. That I know has kept you busy here with so many issues dealing with federal lands, and there's just a lot that changes here with the new administration. Certainly long-term issues, whether it's sage grouse, public lands rule, but some things that do need to be addressed and could be changed positively for the industry.
Right. There's, I think we just need to get everybody in place. There's still some people that need to be appointed still. And there's just so many things that have to be rolled back, I guess, from the previous administration, and that's taken a lot of time just working on those, and then we can move forward with some new policy.
Yep, and the last thing I'd ask you about is more, it's within the Interior Department, but on the wildlife side, we thought maybe we were going to get a decision on grizzly bears this year. That didn't happen, but it's a conversation that's ongoing. Seems like the Interior Department a bit more favorable about delisting bears.
Well, at least they have pulled it back from what the previous administration had brought forward, and it's being looked at. And so I guess we are optimistic about that we'll have something that comes out that we can live with, I guess.
You bet. Well, Lesley, appreciate you taking a little time with us, and thanks for bringing the convention to Butte.
Well, thank you for being here, and we're just happy to be here in Butte.
You bet. Well, stay with us. We'll be back for a look at the markets after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Well, thanks for sticking around for the update on our ag markets. Of course, we'll start out looking at how the cattle futures and cash traded on Friday. There was a lot of volatility last week. Of course, it started with the false report of screwworms in the U.S. Turned out not to be true, but it did cause the market to drop dramatically. But then we rallied back as the week wore on. Definitely help again from the cash-fed cattle market. We saw sales anywhere from $1 to $8 higher. In the South, those live deals coming in $220 to $223. The dress trade $368 to $370. Northern live sales were $229 to $235. So continuing to be very strong in that cash market. Looking around our local auction market, Stockman's Livestock Exchange in Dickinson held a big cow-calf pair and feeder special. Those young pairs topped out at $4,700. Older pairs up to $4,075. Feeders remain strong. The 5 weights coming in $401 to $423. Light 6 weight steers $384 to $402, and 6 to 6.5 weight heifers $333 to $351. At the Newell Sheepyards, new crop lamb sold steady. The 70-pounders 242 to 247, 90-pound lambs 241 to 246. The ewes coming in 5 to 10 weaker from 73 to 90. And the grain market did finally find some strength last week. It was spring wheat especially pushing higher. That was due to lower than expected crop condition ratings coming in at 45%, good to excellent nationally. Winter wheat conditions do continue to fall little by little. Of course, they've got better moisture in the south, but concerns about disease and quality issues, so that does help the market slightly. We have this push and pull situation of drought. Of course, it is improved there in the south, but in the north, drought remains and is expanding. The forecast looks like it could get tough, so may support the wheat market, but we're hoping things are going to get better. Well, that's going to do it for today's report. Thanks so much for joining us. From the Northern Ag Network, I'm Colter Brown.